Hey everyone! If you do have a set of yoga blocks, keep them by your mat and I'll be able to show you how to use them later on in the sequence. But for now, we're going to start in that nice, comfortable cross-legged seated position. Palms up over the knees, let those shoulders roll down the back and close the eyes. Just letting yourself take a moment to really arrive within the space, to arrive on the mat, and even to arrive within yourself. Just naturally breathing. And even as you breathe, notice what lifts, what falls. Every time you breathe in, where do you find you breathe from most? A lot of the times it's from that chest. We tend to be quite used to breathing from there, especially when dealing with a lot of stress. In time, we'll start to be able to breathe from our entire body. So with a bit of practice, we're going to bring that right hand to the stomach, left hand to the chest. And as you start to lengthen that breath, I want you to feel your stomach really beginning to lift. Every inhale, the stomach fills with the air first, followed by the chest beginning to expand. And every exhale, the air leaves from the chest first, followed by the stomach deflating after, almost like creating a nice wave pattern with the body. Just continue with those nice deep breaths. Again, every inhale, feeling that stomach rise, the chest expand. And as you exhale, the air leaves from the chest first, followed by the stomach deflating. It might seem a little difficult to make that stomach rise. It does take practice. It takes time to get used to. And that's okay. Just do what you can to create that nice wave pattern. Keep that breath smooth and controlled. Taking another nice breath, and let your hands come back over the knees. Just see how you're feeling. Notice any sensations. Just becoming aware. With those next few breaths, start to roll those shoulders forwards a few times. Nice big but slow movements. And rolling the shoulders backwards a few. Letting them rest with those few blinks. Let the eyes begin to open up. And we'll bring that right ear to the right shoulder. Right hand reaches over to that opposite ear and tug down gently. You can always nod the head, finding the tightest points, and just hold there. And release, bringing the left ear to the left shoulder, left hand over to the right ear, tug down gently. Again, maybe nodding that head. Find those tight points and hold. Lightly release. Bring those hands to the mat in front and walk them over to that left side. Going for a nice twist. Sitting tall, always keep those shoulders wide. You can use that right hand on the knee to help press a little deeper and see if you can take your gaze towards the back. And walking those hands back to the center, over to the right. Same thing on this side, spine tall, shoulders wide. Maybe use that left hand on the knee to help press a bit further and gaze to the back. Walking those hands back to the center. We're going to reach your right arm up to the ceiling and bend at the elbow so the hand is behind the head. See if you can get that left hand to grab a hold of that right elbow. If you can't, you can grab anywhere on the arm to help. Feel yourself gently pressing the hand and elbow into one another as if you're trying to pull them apart. Just activating all those nice muscles, allowing for a bit of a better stretch. If you do want to deepen it, start to side bend to the left a little bit. And straightening back up, release, maybe give that right arm a little shake. Then we're going to do the same. Left arm reaches up, bend at the elbow, hand behind the head. Use that right hand, see if you can grab a hold of that left elbow or anywhere that you can. Try to sit nice and tall. Press that elbow into the hand again as if we're trying to pull them apart from one another. Keep that spine tall. If you do want to deepen it, side bend to the right. And lightly release. Give that left arm a nice little shake. We're going to step those feet out in front of us, knees bent. Keep them a bit closer together and just rock them a bit side to side. Just feeling our glutes getting a nice light massage. Then step those feet even further apart. Rock them again side to side, almost pressing those knees down towards the mat as they get close. And stopping in the center, we're going to swing those knees to one side, come up to that neutral tabletop. On that next inhale, sink that stomach down towards the mat, tilt the head and pelvis up. Exhaling, reach high with that mid-back, tuck the head and pelvis under. Inhale, sink, really squeeze those shoulder blades together. Exhale, rise, press those shoulder blades apart. Just continue following your breath through that nice cat and cow flow. Feel the back warming up, the spine getting a little more mobile. Just trying to loosen things up here. Keep a nice smooth movement going. When we really connect our movement with the breath, we allow the body, the mind to just become a little bit more calm. After that next natural exhale, come back to your neutral tabletop. We're going to step that right foot out behind us, tuck the toes, and press that heel down. You can always pulse a bit if you prefer, or just remain static. You want to feel that heel just relaxing its way to the mat. Get that nice light stretch through our Achilles tendon, our calf. And taking that right leg, cross it over the left. Untuck those toes and slide it out further behind. Walk those arms out in front, bringing that forehead down towards the mat. If this is ever too much, stay lifted on those elbows. That way our chest doesn't put as much pressure on that front knee. If you don't have any knee issues and you want to get that deeper stretch, again, arms out in front, forehead to the mat, and let your chest put some of that weight down on the front knee. And gently lifting your way back to that tabletop. We're going to step that left foot out behind us, tuck those toes, press that heel down. Same thing again, just pulse a little bit, or maybe remain static. And taking that left leg, cross it over the right. Untuck those toes, slide it out further behind. Walk those arms out in front, forehead to the mat. Again, you can always modify if needed. Ease it up if you're feeling any pains, especially in that front knee. Otherwise, let that chest sink nicely. And begin to lift yourself back to that tabletop. Here we're going to open up those knees, sit back on the heels for a child's pose. Walk the arms out in front, forehead to the mat. And then begin to lift yourself back up. We're going to straighten those legs out behind us for an upward facing dog. Let those hips sink to the mat. Arms nice and straight. Squeeze those glutes. Puff that chest like we're pulling that heart forwards. If this is ever too much, you can always bend at the elbows to whatever is comfortable. We're going to do a little bit of movement here so we won't be holding this for too long. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, lift the hips up enough to open the knees and scoot back to that child's pose. Inhaling, we're going to come forwards again to upward facing dog. Straighten those legs out, reach with that heart. And exhale, child's pose. Inhaling, upward facing dog. And exhale, child's pose. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, child's pose. Another inhale to upward facing dog. And last exhale to child's pose. Let yourself rest here for a nice few breaths. Always make sure that you're feeling the shoulder blades just sinking down the back. Crown of that head is gently pulling forwards to help lengthen that spine. A few more nice deep breaths. And begin to lift yourself back to that tabletop. Here we're going to step that right foot forwards between our hands. Make sure that front knee is right above the ankle. Start to drag that back leg further away for a deeper stretch. Now here's where if you do have blocks and you find your back is quite rounded, you can use those blocks underneath the hands on any height to help lift that chest up a bit. Maybe even taking the blocks to the highest height underneath your shoulders. That'll give your hips more room to just sink right down to the mat. Allow your neck to relax, maybe gazing down at the front foot or towards the front of your mat, just so we don't create any unwanted tension there. Really let those hips just sink. We want to have that feeling that our body is melting towards the mat. Remember, we're trying to still relax and ease our body into things. Let it open up. A nice few breaths. And then if your hands are on the blocks, bring them back to the mat. And we're going to take that time to switch those legs up. Stepping that left foot forwards, front knee right above that ankle. Take that wider stance if needed. Maybe come back to those blocks again. Take that time to settle in. Let your body understand what you're asking of it. And then let those hips, again, continue to feel like they're just melting towards the mat. Nice deep breaths, and already paying attention to those breaths again. Those inhales expanding every inch and corner of the body, and every exhale just sinking. All inhales allow you to feel a bit more refreshed. And every exhale, just release that pressure, any heaviness within. Now, if you have those blocks, just slide them back to the side. We're going to start to bring that back leg a little bit closer, making it easier to bring that front foot back. Let your weight drop to one side, bringing those feet out in front of us. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees apart, our nice butterfly legs. If your hips are really tight, your feet will probably be a little bit further away from the groin. As you get more and more open, they'll be able to come closer. Hang on to the feet, maybe give those knees a bit of a wiggle. And let them relax. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, always reach from that chest forwards and down. This way, reaching with that chest will help us eliminate that round to our back. Allow the neck to relax. Just a few breaths. Keep reaching that chest. Let those hips open up. And lightly lifting yourself back up. Maybe use those hands on the knees to help bring them back together. And we're going to come down onto our backs. Straightening just that left leg down the mat. Bring the right knee to the chest and let it fall to that left side. A nice twist. Open that right arm up. You can always use that left hand on the knee to help pull it down. If your back is really tight, take it gentle, let gravity take the stretch. Otherwise, you can always try to take it that little bit further, especially if there's some give in the muscles. Doing your best to keep that right shoulder blade flat to the mat or as close to the mat as you can. The breath may be a bit shortened here, but still keep it nice and controlled, nice and smooth. Maybe even closing your eyes already if that helps you just relax further. Lightly lifting that knee back up. We're going to switch those legs up, bringing that left knee to the chest, hug it tight, let it fall to that right side. Again, left arm opens up. Maybe use that right hand on the knee to help pull it down a bit. Left shoulder blade nice and flat to the mat. Just take it nice and gentle. Or again, take it that little bit further if you're feeling some of that give. This way we can really wring out that tension in the low back. Wring out all those toxins within. A nice chance to finish getting rid of any negativity, any tightness, any heaviness that we still feel inside. A chance to wring it out. Lightly lifting that knee back up. Bring both the knees to the chest so we can hug them tight. Forehead to the knees, neutralize that spine. And relax the neck. Let those arms and legs straighten down the mat. Palms always facing up, that way our shoulders rotate open. And let the eyes close if they haven't yet. Natural breathing here, no need to worry about trying to take deep breaths or making that stomach rise. Just naturally breathe. Really using the feeling that we're letting go. We're just taking the time to be. That means anytime you notice a sensation arise, just let it pass. We're not labeling anything as good or bad. We're trying not to react. We're just letting it be. The chance to just lay here, to enjoy breathing, to enjoy just simply being alive. Softly begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Start to reach those arms up overhead. Take a nice long body stretch. Even point the toes. And leave that right arm where it is. Bring the left hand to the stomach. Bend at the knees, softly rolling to that right side. A moment in the fetal position. Still keeping eyes closed, use those hands to help lift your way back up to a comfortable cross-legged seated position, sitting nice and tall. Let those shoulders drop, palms up over the knees. Just exhale all remaining air. Take one nice deep inhale through the nose and sigh through the mouth. Bring those hands together at heart center and rub those palms together. Create all that nice heat and energy. Placing those palms up over your eyes. Start to blink them open and feel that heat just flowing back in. Bring those hands back to heart center. Namaste.